We did a stream a couple days ago that bleeped out a bunch of references to something that Billy Carson did regarding another creator. Now, some people are very upset. Ruslan, why did you bleep out all the words? Billy Carson is completely losing it. He is melting down. And his former shorts editor, YouTube editor, Anton, dropped this video exposing Billy Carson. It's called the video you don't want Billy to see. If you want to know what we bleeped out, I'm not going to bleep it out this time. I'm going to let Anton tell you.
I've never seen dancing in a debate. Come on, man.
And you got to be real. All this dancing around the bushes, you know what, guys, I'm forbidden knowledge. I don't dance around the bushes.
Now, what's happening? Anton set up this debate with Wes Huff and Billy Carson. Billy Carson has this debate with Wes. Wes completely obliterates him. I'm not reacting to the debate yet, but I will soon enough. Billy threatens the moderator. But this is some of the crazy stuff Billy's saying. He says he issued a challenge. No Christian pastors would debate him. He finally gets a debate, and he just goes nuclear and is trying to sue people and take people down. I think he's threatening Anton with a lawsuit for this. So this is all alleged. I don't know if any of this is true. This is all alleged. This is all what's being said. And we'll look at some evidence here in a second. But Anton is trying to humanize him. And he's trying to explain why he thinks Billy hates Christianity.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. He says some things here I actually don't agree with him on, but let's just let him flesh this out.
That's not who I am. You already know that. That's why y'all come to my rants. Because I don't dance around. I'm going to give it to you like it is. Whether you like it or not. I'm going to give it to you like it is. Period.
You're going to give it to us like it is, but you won't give it to Wesley like it is because you can't.
And I'm telling you right now, the Christians on this planet are responsible for half the problems we got.
The Christians on this planet are responsible for half the problems we got. That's a crazy claim, dude. What is your issue with Christians?
This is my conspiracy. Why I think Billy goes so above and beyond to try to make Christianity not seem legit. This is multifold, and I'll just break it down for you. Based off Billy's words, he was raised in a religious household. His dad, made him do Bible reports, and by a young age, he was at bars reciting Bible verses and prayers like he showed in that Nick Cannon clip. That has to tell me that Billy actually did read the Bible. Billy understood the Bible. Billy, maybe believed in Jesus Christ at one point. And then probably, if I had to guess, Billy's a smart guy. This guy is not an idiot by any stretch of the imagination. And in a lot of ways, he's incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly interesting. He's like very, very different type of person. And I have to assume that as Billy got older and matured in age and maybe even in the Bible, he started to have questions, maybe things like about Deuteronomy and other harder to understand verses in the Bible.
Old Testament topics, harder laws, that sort of stuff.
And when he had those questions, maybe they got shut down by pastors. Maybe they just said, hey, you shouldn't question the authority of God, which I don't personally believe in. I think everybody should question. If you don't question how you grow up and religion and everything, you shouldn't believe anything off blind faith personally.
This is why apologetics exists.
Hello.
To give a defense, to give an explanation.
Personally, that's my personal beliefs. And I have a inkling that Billy did that, and these pastors and these preachers, they didn't have answers for him. And being a smart kid, it probably got him to wonder, if this is true, why can't these pastors, why can't these preachers answer my questions?
Right.
That maybe created some doubt in him or doubt in people who were Christian. I don't know. I'll also mention that it seems to me Billy didn't have a real experience of Christianity. And I say that.
Okay, so this is the part where I probably disagree with Anton a little bit. He kind of hyper generalizes charismatics here, but he's really conflating, I think, hyper charismatics with charismatics. But let me let him flesh this out.
As he talks about like people speaking in tongues and like the pastor running around and sweating and these things. So this to me tells me he was probably in some type of like Pentecostal charismatic movement. For me, that to me is not Christianity. I think that's like a whole separate religion. Yes, they talk about the Bible and Jesus, but I don't know. I just find that stuff very, very phony in a lot of ways.
This is the only thing I would disagree with him on. I think that's a hyper generalization of charismatics. That there's a lot of charismatic churches that don't run around and the pastor's not sweating and they're not swinging off the chandeliers. They don't got flags. They're not speaking in tongues on a Sunday morning.
My background in the occult, because I've seen other people do that in other, spiritual movements, and it's so similar and it's really dark and manipulating and all these things. So I have a sense Billy had a really poor experience with the Christians around him at a young age because maybe they couldn't answer his questions and told him not to question authority, that's on them. So Billy grows up and he starts to probably dig and search for answers. And that's when he comes up Gnostic gospels, these hidden gospels. And then it gives him the certainty that, oh, look, yes, I was right. The Bible is full of crap. All of this other stuff that's been hidden from me is the truth. So he clings on to it. Billy's whole origin story is that his, family kind of got broken up when he saw these gray aliens. And he told me this story too, personally, and he said it on multiple interviews. And I don't know what to believe. I mean, I believe in this stuff. I know all that stuff is very, very real. I don't think gray aliens are benevolent by any means.
Billy has an encounter with aliens, and all of a sudden that's where his faith starts falling apart. So here's the interesting thing about aliens, and I just thought about this. The aliens that they're talking about is the inverse of the gospel. The aliens are coming down with advanced technology, and they're not good beings. They're bad beings that are doing experiments on you, and they're taking you up, and people are claiming they're impregnated, right? Jesus comes impregnated in a woman with not advanced technology, born in a manger, and to bridge the gap between God and man, to pay the debt that man has racked up because of how man was living. So the entire conversation around aliens, it is the inversion. It is the opposite of the gospel, which is what? What is the opposite? What is the inversion? What is the perversion of the good news of Jesus? What is that? What is that rooted in?
Satan.
It is demonic, right? So if you think about just think about any narrative of aliens in a very superficial sense, it's always the inverse of the gospel story, of the incarnation, of Emmanuel.
I don't have a reason to not believe that story. I actually believe it. Call me crazy. I've just seen some stuff too, so I would never say that's not true because I've experienced it as well. What I will say though is that my experience with those aliens is that the first thing they attack is your theology. That's the first thing to go.
Oof.
And so what did they attack? They attacked Billy's faith.
Hello.
They attacked the family he was brought up in. Go ahead.
Didn't we do that reaction that one time to the people that said every time, almost every account
They called on the name of Jesus.
they called on the name of Jesus, that the aliens went away, and like that was like a really common thread in all the alien abductions.
Go ahead.
Because if they can attack that, they can pretty much manipulate where your life will go. Because if you are grounded in your theology, specifically in Jesus Christ, you're going to have boundaries in spirituality. You're going to know what's good, what's not good, based off the word of God. Those aliens, or whatever they are, they go after that. And it opens your mind to new possibilities, and that's when your foundation is replaced.
Yeah.
So it's my speculation, but this is twofold. I believe something happened there. Whether that story's true or not, I don't know. But he did say it broke up his family.
They think that gives a good explanation for why Billy likely hates Christianity. This is what we had to bleep on the show. I'm going to let Anton tell it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let him tell it, and you guys can piece it together. Go ahead.
I've known Billy personally for over 10 years. I've been to his house. I've had dinner with his family. I've done business with him. He was also a client of mine for his social media. So I've helped push his grift, regrettably. And this man is not who he claims to be, allegedly. So in this video, I'm going to be going into all of that. But before I do, why now? Why am I exposing this now? I've known this about Billy for 3 years. And in that time, I even went to his New Year's party in 2022, going into 2023. I don't like people who mislead people. I don't like liars. And I had a personal thing with this all, and I'll give you that story now. When I first started getting closer with Billy during COVID, there was a bunch of drama that unfolded. And long story short,
This is some crazy stuff right here. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets good. This isn't the bleep that part, but this get good.
Billy Carson, to my face, told me and my ex-girlfriend that he was 70 years old. I had no reason to suspect he was lying about his age. I mean, hey, he's got the alien technology, man. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's black don't crack. I don't know, but he sure didn't look 70. But I didn't really have a reason to question it. I even Googled it, and I believe at the time it said that. It has since changed. Well, long story short, his now wife, who was just his girlfriend back then, heard that he told me that. He called me, and I was actually with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and the call started, I'm paraphrasing, but it started something to this effect. Hey man, I'm here with Elizabeth. She's hearing rumors that you said that I said I was 70, and I just want to have that conversation with you because remember we had that conversation? I said I wasn't 70, and that was a lie generated by the internet, and it was going around. Now, I've been manipulated my entire life by people like Billy. I don't know what it is with me and getting around these people, but it's been a pattern of my life. And in this moment, every part of my being wanted to say, no, you did tell me you were 70. But because of Billy's power, because of his status, because of the unpreparedness, I have every excuse in the book for why I lied like a coward. But I lied to his now wife. About 2 years later, at the New Year's party I was at, his wife came up to me and we were all drinking and she brought that whole scenario up. And she was like, that was really weird, this and that. And I was like, yeah, rumors just generate around the internet. So
Was this grift?
So this is, again, go watch the whole video. This is the long story of how he got popping. So this is specifically about the Wesley Huff video. Listen closely.
Grift after so many years because it's pretty easy to catch on to.
And this person did some diabolical, backstabbing stuff just yesterday.
Diabolical backstabbing. Billy, please explain to me how getting somebody on an interview with you, which we told you about, is diabolical and backstabbing. You knew exactly what you were walking into, but you were probably too lazy to do your own research because clearly you don't know how to do that. And you didn't look up who Wesley was. And because you came face to face with a real historian and linguist, the fraudulent documents you like to claim as truthful have nothing to stand on.
He reacts to the debate with Wes Huff later on in the video. You guys go watch Anton's video.
This is 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Vocab Malone has reacted to it. Wow. What's his name? John Clash has reacted to it. Maybe I'll do a whole separate stream on that. Go ahead.
And you didn't like that you got exposed. And because you got exposed for knowing nothing about Christianity, you freaked out. You freaked out so much that you were knocking at my client's door at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
Now I got to handle that situation.
With legal papers, acting like you have the power to enforce some type of "you got served." You guys, this is the type of person Billy is. Like, he does have a brain injury, so maybe there is something like literally wrong with him. I don't know. But this is like crazy behavior. My client has kids. He has a family. You got this guy walking up at his house at 2:30 in the morning because of a debate that he posted.
That's crazy. You know what that also means?
Anton said it.
It means he never went to bed, or he got up at like 1:30 to like get ready for the day. That's crazy.
That, by the way, wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was bad because Billy doesn't know what he's talking about, but there wasn't like arguments, and Wesley was very kind, and he could have pushed way harder, and he didn't. So Billy, bro, was it diabolical, or is what you're doing diabolical?
But at the same time, my mind went right into solutions mode. What's the solution to this problem, and how can I do it? How can I take care of the situation?
The solution is to pretend you're a lawyer and knock at my client's door at 2:30 in the morning.
Billy Carson caught on a Ring doorbell where the Ring doorbell said front door cam 22954.
You guys go watch Anton's full video while it's still up. You guys fill in the blank. Those of you guys that wanted to know what was being bleeped out, I couldn't say it publicly. I would just say Anton filled in the blanks for us in terms of what was going on with Billy Carson post debate with Wes Huff. You guys can fill in the blanks.
And so he allegedly has a brain injury,
which makes a lot of sense.
Kind of makes a lot of sense. It's kind of crazy that like people end up following somebody that has a brain injury.
Oh, shout out to Anton. He's in the chat.
Hey,
Anton, you want to?
Anton, you put in.
I don't want to throw any more gasoline on this, man.
But do you want to call in?
Anton, you want to call in real quick? Tell us a bit more about this Billy Carson situation. I mean, everybody should go watch your 2-hour video, which was very well done, by the way.
I work for Mark. I found a Dropbox file with some evidence, and I just felt like, although I kind of went behind Mark's back, it was the right thing to do. I don't know what to say. I've defended people like Billy and others my whole life since I was young, and I'm just tired of lying for criminals. And I just know like God has put me in this position for a very specific reason, and I just have to have some courage and faith right now and boldness, and really lean on God, because I was not a Christian, and I was involved in some bad stuff, and I really was deceived, and I was upset, and Billy played a part in that. And
is Billy threatening you with legal action now?
Yeah, I mean, he already did that, like when he threatened Mark as well.
He threatened you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And is the Ring doorbell footage getting taken out?
Is the Ring doorbell footage getting taken out of that video?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna blur it.
Oh, okay.
Oh shoot! I asked Mark if I could react to it. I didn't just jump out the window and react to it.
Cool.
I did ask Mark if I could react to it.
No. I'm sure you did. It was less for that. Mark reached out to me, and he was very upset. But I want to say something too about Mark. Mark, in this whole situation, I feel like a lot of Christians have been attacking him, and I just want to let everybody, for the record, publicly know, like, when I was in one of the darkest spiritual places in my life, I was under all types of warfare. I was kind of coming out of some bad stuff. Mark's graciousness, kindness, love for God, and gentleness showed me the power of Jesus Christ in a way I never experienced it before.
Amen.
because I've been around these spiritual leaders, quote unquote, like Billy and others, and that was the only reference of spirituality I had. So I associated like just a lot of negative things to these people. And I feel like people have just kind of like think he's cowarding out, and there's way more to this story. And like you see it here, you know, like the dude went to his house. I mean, come on, man. He's got kids, they're neighbors. There's a lot of dynamics to this. So that's why I was like, yo, I got to step up. Like, I got to say something. You know, when I had that revelation with, you know, the new age and what things that Billy pushes and my personal experience with Jesus and realizing Mark's also a Christian, I was like, dude, wouldn't it be cool to have Billy on your show to talk about Christianity? Like, you know, he goes on these shows and just says these things like, let's talk about it. You have a powerful testimonial. You know, Mark had a personal encounter with Jesus. Let's break this down. So that's how it started. And, you know, I started preparing for it. And, you know, I knew Billy was going to reference the Gnostic Gospels. So I started sending Mark all of Wesley's videos. And I was like, hey, when he brings up the crucifixion, here's a clip from Wesley talking about the crucifixion. Like, do your homework, man. So we're preparing for this. I set up a whole Google Doc to go down on this all. And at the last minute, Mark just randomly shoots Wesley a DM, and God intervened, and this all unfolded. So it was crazy. He was like, yo, do you think we could get this Wesley guy on? And I was like, we can try. We could try. So there's a lot that's happened, you know, behind the scenes, and it's been crazy, man. I mean, how can you not say God's hand is not in this all?
Hopefully, I could react to the debate. There's already multiple versions of the debate. I would love to see Billy run it back. You know, I think that would be the honorable thing to do in this situation. It doesn't sound like he's interested, unfortunately. But yeah, I want to try to make it happen. I've offered some things behind the scenes with Mark and with Wes, so I think that would be great. Yeah, and Mark has been very mature throughout this whole process, and hopefully it gets resolved sooner than later.
I agree, man.
All right, we gotta have you back on, bro, to talk about your experience in the New Age and the aliens bit and all that sort of stuff, because I think there's a lot there.
I have been running this business for a long time. I've been working with a lot of these people. Billy is just one of the smaller ones, to be honest. And he is bad for sure in terms of like what he pushes, but there are people who are doing way worse, way darker things. I made a video about that slightly. I didn't talk about the depth because I'm honestly terrified. I mean, these are powerful people. There's a lot here. So I know a ton. You know, I run a social media agency. So when I worked with these people, they wanted me close to them. So I saw a lot behind the curtain, if you will.
Yeah, I liked your gracious tone towards Billy in your video. And again, we'll link that. Your tone was more like, hey, Billy, we just don't want you to keep talking nonsense about Christianity. Like, do your thing. But when you keep attacking Jesus, that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
But in my further investigation with even making this video, I kind of realized, I don't know if that's possible, because his whole theory is based off Thoth, which is essentially Jesus. So, like, if Jesus of the Bible is real, his theories go out the door, and then his whole foundation is broken. So it's like he can't.
That's unfortunate. Wow, I was not expecting Anton to call in. That was intense, man. Whew. Yeah, we'll link Anton's video. You guys go watch the full thing. Those of you guys that care about the Billy Carson stuff and the extreme annihilation that he received, the lashing he received from Wes Huff. This man, Wes Huff, is a daggone, you know, he's built different. Wes Huff is built different. He started pulling out original papers and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.